Sure.
My name's Malachi Kirby. I'm from Battersea. I live in Surrey now. And I'm an artist.
Faith Alabi, and I was born in Hackney, but I live in Islington now, and I am an actor.
So tell us about your this new play, Belleville. Belleville. You've got to say it with a French accent.
Belleville.
Yeah.
Belleville. Okay, excuse me. Belleville. Yeah, tell us about this play, please.
I don't know how to articulate it. So it's a pretty simple play in that it's set in I guess an Airbnb over the course of about 3 days, and it just takes a look into these two relationships. One of them being a white couple, American, both 28, and the other one being us, black, French, Senegalese. And it just basically looks at these two lives and it explores differences in their kind of mentalities and their kind of the way they've been raised, and I guess perspective on how they kind of view life. And it speaks about, like, I don't know, I only figured out what the word millennial means the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
But aren't you both millennials?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant. I thought it meant people born after the millennium.
Yes, and we had this Q&A.
Sense in my head.
It makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's not that.
No.
What's your interpretation of it, or understanding of it?
I can't remember. It's like anyone who's aged 20 to something.
Is it like 1984 or something?
I can't remember. Yeah.
From that point.
That kind of point.
But we're having a discussion in the Q&A about millennials, because the play is kind of very kind of focused on that. And so they were discussing like what it actually means to be a millennial, and it was really interesting.
And being black millennials?
Yeah.
Millennials as
There's
well?
that as well.
Yeah, because lots of people were talking about millennials, but it's like it's different being black, and I feel like the play, because it's set in Paris and the Airbnb, so the white Americans, and we've got a black Senegalese Muslim couple, and there's that whole idea of being an expat and being an immigrant, and an expat is white and an immigrant is brown.
Yeah.
And she kind of flips that on its head. So our couple, we own property, we're the landlords, we're functioning as a relationship, we've got 2 kids, and compared to the expats who are kind of, I think because of the privilege they've been afforded, they've been afforded to mess that up. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
they've had the luxury to mess everything up for themselves.
And now are they kind of hit a point like, wow, life isn't as what they thought, and you guys are giving them a new perspective on their perspective, or something like that?
Kind of. So things unravel with them. Don't know how many spoilers we could. Yeah.
No, you can't spoil.
Okay, right.
We want people to come and see it. But just giving them, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Keep it to yourself. So you guys are landlords and you're in positions of power. And so what's that like playing a role like that, where you get to kind of challenge stereotypes? Because I mean, in every day there are things that people don't expect. As you're saying, they didn't expect that you to be married, have kids, and be successful in a sense. They're expecting you to be immigrants with a begging bowl.
Yeah.
So what's it like playing those type of characters?
Really cool. I am a mentor with a charity, and I met a girl yesterday, and she wants to be an actress, and she's a young Muslim black girl, and she was saying that she's like, when, what space is there for me? What are they going to do when I turn up? I'm a black young Muslim. And I was like, I'm playing one of those now. And she was like, yeah, but what type is it? Is she like in a full hijab, like, or whatever? And I was like, no, she's a modern, like, and that was really cool to be able to say that.
Yeah, resonate with people.
Yeah.
That's really good. Tell us about your character's motivation and what they're trying to achieve out of the situation. So just who your characters are, a bit of their personality,
So my character, his name's Alioune. He is a refugee. He moved to France he moved to Paris when he was 6, and he has an uncle living in Paris, who I guess he's kind of connected with, and started a life here. And his motivation changes throughout the play, but it's always kind of juggled between trying to please his wife and trying to please the people living in his. And so his kind of loyalties are kind of tested, and his responsibilities, I guess, because he's got 2 kids, he's got his wife, and basically these, how can I not give a spoiler away? always struggle with this. Basically, he's torn between, pleasing the people that he's looking after and kind of being a businessman, but also being a friend to the person he's just supposed to be a landlord to, which can cause complications when it comes to money and stuff like that. And then, there's the other side of, him being a husband and a father and like prioritizing basically that side of his life. And as I said, it's a very simple story, but it really just takes for me, a really beautiful and realistic look at, just humans and like relationships and the kind of intricacies of what happens within relationships and what can cause them to break down or to be stronger.
That sounds really interesting. And what about your character?
My character is called Amina, and she was born in Paris, so she's French, and identifies as French first and foremost. That was a big difference because we went to Paris as a research trip, and I went to a black hair salon and was asking some of the women there and black people there where they're from, and it was like a really weird question for them, whereas like we're more used to that as black Brits. We'll ask people like, where are you from, and that because we're sort of whereas
or Jamaican or
exactly
like
they're very assimilationist and French first and foremost, and then it's like, oh, originally from Senegal or whatever.
No,
so
even that though, they will go back, they'll say Africa first. Like there's this big thing here, it's like, I'm not African, like Africa's not a country, but there it's like, no, we're one. And say Africa, and it's like you have to dig more to go actually, where in Africa are you from? Which I found really interesting.
Whereas we're so much more multicultural here, so but she's French, and she's a mother, got 2 kids, one of them's 2.5 and the other's 9 months, so she's really busy with that, and she definitely wears the trousers in the relationship. So I think I spend my main motivation is to protect and look after my family and kids.
So how what's that like, bossing him about, I guess? Getting a chance to boss your colleague about?
Fun.
Fun, Bonded well, and what's it like when you haven't worked with someone before? And obviously, had you heard of each other's or seen each other's work? Is there any anticipation when you're about to meet someone and, God, we're going to be stuck together, working together? How do you kind of manage the awkwardness, I guess? Especially if it's an intimate role at points and or emotional.
I'd heard of Faith's work a lot prior to meeting you, and I was very excited. I'd heard about plays that you'd done, people that had worked with you, and they were all raving. So I was like, cool, like, if it wasn't for them, I would never have known of Faith, but through them, it's like, whoa, I feel like I know this person already.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was excited to work with her. It wasn't awkward. I mean, it's part of the job. You meet new people all the time, and we've been blessed on this job. Like, everyone's just been cool. There hasn't been any egos or anything like that. Everyone, and it's fair, so we're all on the same level, which is something I appreciate about Fair. There's no hierarchy. It's just all come on the same ground, same changing room, same page. I mean, it's just what it is.
Including the director as well.
So it's been really nice. And
I've definitely heard of Malachi's work, and I'd seen it as well, so I was really excited. And
then
I think really nervous on the first day, like, because we had to do this photo shoot on the very first day, and we'd only just met each other, and then we had to be all like coupley in the photo shoot, and I basically just had like Lego hands, like out of awkward, when you're like, what do I like? It was just horrendous. I was so nervous. I was like shaking, like.
Oh, that's so cute.
On the first day.
And now you've got spiders in your changing room, and now you're threatening him, so you're all good now.
It is weird though. Like, I definitely like it is. It's normalised, but it's weird. You meet someone for the first day, and you're supposed to be like husband and wife, and like that intimate. Instantly, it is. I find it weird. And then you just warm into it, and then it's like distant memory.
You both got experience of working in film and theatre and TV. Start again. You both got experience of working in TV and stage, and you've done film as well, Malachi. What are your thoughts about having to be able to adapt to all these different mediums, and do you think it's important to your career that you've got this experience across stage and screen and big screen and stuff like that?
For me, I didn't go to like a formal drama school. I went to identity drama school,
Sure.
which was a part-time. It was when I started there. It was 1 day a week. It's 2 days a week now. And when I started there, it's pretty much the same time that I started professionally working. And so for me, theatre was really important because that was like the core of like, you know, my training. Was, you know, it was the time to rehearse and the time to dig into characters and work with the director. And so I spent the first 5 years of my career from 2007 doing mostly theatre and trying to have a balance of TV and short films within that. So maybe I do like 2 TV jobs a year and then the rest will be theatre. And that was my foundation. And then from 2012, I decided I wanted to focus on film because I hadn't done it before, which is what I did. It was only supposed to last a year and then it built momentum and I kept going with it. And it's been about 7 years now since I had done a play. And so I was just itching to get back on the stage. And I didn't anticipate quite how big the transition would be for me. Going back to stage after 7 years, like I thought it'd be cool and working at the Donmar as well because it's not so huge of a place. It's only about 270 seats. I thought, okay, this is the perfect place to transition back to stage. But I remember in rehearsals, like I kept thinking that I was bringing stuff up, and the director was like, "Can't tell what you're doing, can't see what you're doing." I was like, "What?" And it just blew my mind.
When you say that, do you mean like your emotions weren't big enough?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
wow, okay.
Whatever it was that I was doing, like internally, it wasn't reading, and I thought it was. And I just realized, well, like I didn't realize I wouldn't be able to gauge it so much, but it was good. And yeah, I still feel like this was a safe place for me to transition. And in terms of like vocally, you know, and physically, just making things bigger. And I think, yeah, for me, it's been important. I think that the two, both theatre and screen, work hand in hand in terms of exposure. You know, there's this common misconception that, you know, if you're doing theatre, you won't be seen as much, but everyone comes to the theatre, you know, especially for work and directors and producers, and, you know, it's not two separate worlds completely. But again, like for me, because I hadn't trained necessarily, for me having that balance of screen and stage was useful. In terms of like, they are two very different disciplines. And when I was training for about 6 years alongside work. And it was mainly focused on stage. And so when I started doing TV, it was like really quite vulnerable because I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what anyone else was doing apart from the director. He was telling me what to do. All these different guys are running around doing jobs I had no idea about. And so it took a while. It took about, well, a few years actually to actually get comfortable on set. And then there's like, yeah, there's that whole discipline of knowing how to kind of switch from this is screen, this is how I need to approach screen, and this is stage. And for me, it's been useful going back and forth, so it hasn't felt so separate.
Yeah, I get
Do you
that.
know what I mean?
Yeah. And what about you? Where do you feel most comfortable, TV or the stage?
I definitely have more experience doing stage so far, but I love screen as well. So I'm quite new. I finished drama school. I trained at Guildhall. I finished 3 years ago, so I haven't had loads of experience yet. But yeah, I think it's really useful for me at this stage to do both. And they're different muscles, but it's good to keep them going. And it's they are different disciplines, and yeah, I love both. I guess so. Yeah, screen and theatre, and also radio as well. Like I've been doing a bit of radio and things like that, and that's also really interesting as well because it's like different ways of getting stuff across in different mediums, and it's cool and it makes you think about stuff in a different way when you go back to another medium.
That's yeah. I'm going to say, what are the quick differences between, what are the skills that you need for each medium? So if you're doing TV and film, and is there a difference even between TV and film, and then doing theatre and then doing radio plays? So where do you need to concentrate your talents, as it were, in each medium, or is it not like that? Because I suppose with radio you've got to know how to throw your voice. Yeah,
it's all about voice.
Yeah.
Like, and you feel so exaggerated.
Yeah.
And like I'm gesticulating loads and whatever, but you have to communicate so much through purely your voice and nothing else, which is such a good skill to hone, and then because then you can use that when you're doing for example, a really quiet scene, like we've got a really quiet scene at the end of our play, and or if you're doing a scene where there's zero movement, or say if you've got your back to the camera or whatever, do you know what I mean?
So
you can use your voice in ways.
Okay.
And then TV and film, I would say it's more about feeling, like really, really feeling that, and being in touch with being in touch with your feeling. And then theatre for me is about expressing, if that makes, like expressing what that is,
especially the
and
words
communicating
in a
it. Because there's a massive difference, because I think the big difference is with screen, you can see someone's eyes, you can see what they're thinking through their eyes, whereas when you're on stage, because you're so, like people are in the circle or whatever looking down, they can't see all of what's going on here, so it has to be so much bigger in your body and movement. And I love movement as well, so that's why I think theatre is really exciting for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Going to America, you guys, you've gone to America and you're back here, are you planning to go back, and are you going to try and crack the stage? Is it a necessary, because it seems like this is what we do in the UK, because it's not going to work down here for that long, let's go to America and see what we can do, and it seems like we're doing well in America. What's your thoughts, because you've been there, and what's your thoughts, because you could potentially be off tomorrow?
Do you know what, it's funny, I mean, whenever I bump into people here, they're like, oh, what are you doing here? I thought you was in America.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't really done America yet, you know? I mean, even through Roots, like I auditioned for that here. Like, I have never really done, well, I did pilot season once last year.
Okay.
But I don't feel like I've actually gone over there. And it's not a thing of like not having the opportunity to, I've been working here. And I've been finding good work to do here, and the work that I have done over there I found through here. So I haven't felt the need to like move out there and spend a lot of time out there in LA. And I like being home. And yeah, for me, I never really took to that notion, I mean, of just going out there and kind of breaking down doors and stuff. I tried it once when I was seeking management out there in 2013, and it just, for me, just my personal character, I'm not really good at networking and stuff, it just didn't sit with me, and so I made the decision that I was going to do my work here, and if I did go over there, it'd be because I'm invited, not because I'm trying to
break through.
Yeah, and that's the route that I have taken. But as I said, like, things have changed now than I think the generation before, where America and the UK was so separate, because as I said, there's so much auditions that happen here now for the States. You know, casting directors that are casting jobs here for America and for the rest of the world. So you don't have to be out there to work out there now, if that makes sense.
Self-tape has blown up so
Self-tape.
much in the last 3 years, I'd say, massively. So you can be anywhere in the world and be taping for stuff anywhere in the world. So it doesn't feel like necessarily like you have to relocate in order to work in a place. So I think for me, I just go wherever the work is, like interesting work as well.
Okay, so there's
work
no
that excites me.
What comes up, and so is it easy to kind of know what's the lay of the land across both continents? Like, you can see what's going on in the UK, you can see what's going on in America, and go for it now without feeling restricted. Like, you have to go over there. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a difference, you know, between, you know, doing a tape and being in the room. Personally, I prefer being in the room.
Sure.
I've gone over there to have meetings with people, and, you know, just, I like to meet people face to face and shake a hand and just be like, cool, I know who you are, now you know me. Then when we start doing tapes, it's not who's this random person, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So there's
a massive advantage of like having met someone in person and having that impact. And then, because you can, it's so easy to swipe. We've all got so much like option paralysis now. You spend like an hour and a half picking a film on Netflix, and then you're like, I could have watched a film in that time. So
make a decision.
Compared to if you've actually met someone face to face. So it's definitely well worth going out there and meeting people, but you don't have to relocate. Yeah.
Fair enough. It's award season.
Yeah.
Are you guys watching what's going on? Are you excited for
it? Do you know, I live in a bit of a bubble, I'm not going to lie.
Really? So you don't pay attention to
You know about?
I know that because he's my boy though.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, like I'm not on social media or nothing like that.
Yeah, no, you're not. It's frustrating for us journalists when you guys are on social media.
I'm sorry, but
so stressful.
I've never really followed award seasons. Like I watched it for the first time. I watched the Golden Globes last year for the first time. It's the first awards show I've ever watched.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just kind of focus on the work.
So I was going to ask, like, if of all the awards that go on, which of them would you like to win, aspire to win, and who would you thank? The first two people you'd thank when giving your acceptance speech.
Again, like for me personally, I just never really. So
there's not one award, an Oscar, Olivier,
no,
a Tony.
No,
really?
That's just not
okay.
Me? No, not at all. Yeah, I'm genuinely just focused on the work.
When you win an award, hand it to me, because if you don't want it, I'll gladly accept it.
No, it's not. I think that they're good. I think that they're good for bringing, especially with Daniel. Like he's been. I think a lot of people feel like he's just come out now, but he's been doing it for a minute, and for him to be getting this recognition isn't a surprise to me. It's expected, but it's also nice that he's being celebrated in this way. So I think awards are good when they're doing that for people. It's nice. It's nice to dance and praise. You know, do you know what I mean? For someone's success, and also I guess it helps. You know, now when he does a film, it's not just going to be Daniel Kaluuya, but Oscar nominated Daniel Kaluuya. Do you know what I mean? So it does help to kind of sell projects as well and just increase the kind of projects that you can do.
I can see you got. What award would you like to win?
You got it in mind.
I don't know. I think it's more like that's like a cherry on the top.
Okay.
I think it's like you're going down dodgy territory if you're doing this to chase after trophies.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see myself as like chasing after trophies. But if I get one, amazing, that's cool. But like, it's not what my aim is or end goal necessarily.
That's fair enough.
But I mean, obviously, any awards would be amazing. Yeah.
And who would be the first three people you'd thank? Me, obviously. Sure.
After you. I don't know. There's so many. So many.
That was a bit of an on the spot one.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still. It's okay. You can say me.
And me as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Fully.
And Luke.
I guess it would depend on the project that was up for an award and who was involved with it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I know God would be involved somehow, so I definitely be thanking him. My mum, and it's not even just a generic thing. Like my mum is incredible, and she. What are you thinking?
That's what you get into.
She's told me to do
this.
Is one for her. Okay, so final thing. What do you want the audience to take away from this play?
I'd love the typical Donmar audience. I'd love them to see stuff subverted and challenge their preconceptions.
Cool. I get that.
Hard question. Do you know why? Because like everyone, even when you're speaking about when you're rehearsing, like everyone that is not even watches a play, that comes into contact with it, whether you read it or whether you're acting it, identifies with something in it, and it kind of holds up a mirror to people in a really, I think, important way. And so many people that have come to see the show so far, they've come to me, and obviously I've never watched it, so I don't know what impact it's having to that extent. But they've come to me like, whoa, like the way it makes them look at themselves and the way it makes them look at like the relationships that they're in. It seems to be quite impactful. And so I guess just more of the same, more people just kind of taking a look at themselves and addressing things that they may have thought was okay, but actually no, it's not, Yeah, that's kind of what I want people to take from it. Just a way of looking at themselves and going like, where am I at? And when they watch the story, like, which, if any of these characters am I, and is there a better way that I can relate to my partner, Yeah.
Grayson Perry said this amazing thing. He was like, the job of the artist is not to tell people what to think or isn't to be concerned with that. It's just to notice stuff. So whether you notice the way the light falls on a leaf or whether you notice that a government is oppressing people, your job is just to notice stuff and point at it, and like the audience can take whatever they want from it, and not to concern yourself with. Yeah, quite like that. It leaves you scot-free.
Yeah, exactly.